guys, welcome to my channel again, and today we are going to talk about this beautiful book. This is not a review because I do not like to review books because each and every books have their unique storyline and their unique attributes, so we are not here to criticize anything, but I really appreciate if we talk about books and what is good in those books and particular books and what is there can be done good. So this is not a review first of all. So this is the fourth book in the series by AMISH TRIPATHI, which is very acknowledged author in India. The first three books of his like related to Shiv trilogy, which is most selling book series in India. So I am admired his work very much, and I started to read novels and other self-improvement books because of him. I really like his work from my college days. So this is the fourth book in Ramayana series. First three books have different narrative, like all three books have talk about different narrative, like Ram book will talk about this events I from the Ram, and then Sita book talk about the all the events happened in the life of goddess Sita, and then about the Ravana. So in this book all the three books combined at the first page, and then the storyline began to talk about the actual events which happened after the abduction of goddess Sita. So basically this book talk about all the elements and all the things we have like feel during those moments from last three books, that what okay, so adrenaline rush we have in each and every book. There are like hundreds of secrets and hundreds of like new things we are engaging in every read. So after reading Immortals and The Secret of Nagas and one of Vaiputra's Oath, so these books are quite look like that we are already in that zone of AMISH TRIPATHI. We are already aware about different kinds of groups like Malyaputras, Vaiputras, which we have intrigued at the time of Shiva trilogy, because that was the first time we have reading about those. So we are quite intrigued by those, that we have like Malyaputras, Vaiputras, but now we don't have that kind of new things in this book, which I really missed, but I'm not going to say because this is an universe created by Mr. Amish and all things are well settled in that universe. So we cannot accept that each and every time whenever author going to narrate a new story we're going to see something new, but all the things which we already knew about Ramayana is not like Shiva trilogy or any book. We are not aware about our childhood, we are well versed with the storyline, what going to happen next, and we are quite aware that AMISH TRIPATHI is going to tell the story in the same way but changing the little bit that you can relate with. Like all the things in the books started from the first page. We going to get that okay, goddess Sita is abducted and all the things are getting neutralized. We are getting to know about Ravana side and all the things. After reading the Ravana book you are quite familiar with the character of Ravana and the past life of Ravana. So this book does not need to develop that pace, but I appreciate efforts of Mr. Tripathi, the way he put all the things at the place. He never like going to put anything from the past book and you need to like, okay, I missed to read that book. No, he always put things in very straight point, and wherever required, he give the brief description about the character, the things, like groups. He always put what is Malyaputras, what is Vaiputras. He going to give brief about these are the descendant of Lord Rudra, these from Mahadev clan. So we are quite aware. Talking about this book, so this book have many things to talk, like from when book start I have very many things like how Amish is going to show us the Lanka the hand and Sanjeevani Booty incident, because we are already aware about Sanjeevani Booty in the first three books. So I'm quite keen to know those, and I'm also want to know the strategy in this book going to use for the words, because if you are aware about the Melwa and other books, you are quite aware that those books have heavy influence on Bahubali series, and how the Bahubali series action sequence carried out are quite, I'm not saying to say copied, but hugely inspired from those books. And after reading this book I really feel kind of overwhelmed in the way the storyline takes place, and I'm quite obvious about few things that these things is going to happen in the end, like duel of Ravana and Ram is going to be the part of the core at the end, and I'm going to show the Naga characteristics of Ravana is going to play a very main role in the end. But the main thing which makes me like less is like the way he shows the Ravana in the last book. I want to see him more like the first two books, the Radiant Man who is like monster situation. We are nearly not able to see him in a monster situation. Whenever we see him he's like always like plead to someone on in love. So those things I really missed from two books. Other than I really there are few moments where you were like you blown away by the facts that these are the books. I really at the end I started to assume this is not a book, this is an anime. So in that characteristics I am presuming in my mind what is going to happen in the anime style at that point, because the book is written so well. I'm not going to be in the nonsense about grammatical errors and all the things that are not the part of the storyline. If I'm going to enjoy this book, then I'm going to tell you those things. And this book is sheer magnificent art of Mr. Tripathi's world. So when you are diving in Mr. Tripathi's words, make sure that you are going to get things You are not thinking about those things, but you are going to get those things. Like there are suspense, there are thrill, and war strategy, and many more things you can ask from Mr. Tripathi, but all things deliver up to the mark. I wish that Mr. Tripathi puts some kind of suspense. There are few, I'm not going to say there are none. There are few suspense which we are looking forward to, like fifth book in the series. But I want few more. So in the end, like the ending is not look like an actual ending from Mr. Tripathi, as you are aware that we got suspenseful ending from his always, like in the Immortals of Melua, we got that last phase of scene between Naga and Shiva and Oath of Vayaputras. That was the end. So we are getting that higher cliffhangers in the end. And in Secret of Nagas, we got to know about the Brihaspati and many more. Similarly, we got many things in Ram and Sita and Ravana's book also. But in the end, this book carried very uh, that kind of like, okay, this is not feel like that ending, or maybe this is the ending which we are. I give 2 to 3 days to understand what is actually narrator want to say to us. But all in all, I'm going to recommend this book very, very much, that if you have time, or if you don't have time, just go about this book and you can have avail your Kindle and just read this magnificent book. You are not going to be disappointed by this book. This is like something which happened once in a lifetime situation, not that kind of heroes, but something which you really appreciate after reading that.